All right, from Charlotte all the way to California, California Governor Gavin Newsom is apparently adding another title, that of climate change warrior. Yeah, Newsom taking time away from his gubernatorial duties to attend the COP30 United Nations Climate Summit in Brazil this week. That was taking place, and the state governor decided to show up there. And this, again, dismissed by the Trump administration, though the governor explaining his position on climate change while taking yet another jab, again, yes, at President Trump. Watch.
It's not about electric power, it's about economic power. I think we have to reframe it as a cost of living issue. And we've seen the estimates from the New York Times, among others, reported the estimates of Donald Trump's attack and assault on Joe Biden's policies as it relates to his low-carbon green growth initiatives will cost the average ratepayer 10% more in bills this calendar year.
For more on the story, let's welcome in Steve Hilton. He's a Republican candidate for California governor. Steve, welcome back to National Report. What is Governor Newsom doing in Brazil and speaking at this conference?
He's preening himself in front of the global climate elite, while the state that he's supposed to be running falls further and further into stagnation and decline and hurts the working people of the state. I don't know where to start with this story. First of all, I can think of another title for Gavin Newsom instead of global climate crusader and climate change warrior. Climate change hypocrite, because of his insane climate policies, crushing and shutting down California oil production. We are now importing nearly 80% of the oil we use in California. We used to get it mostly from California. And guess where it's coming from, among other places? The Amazon rainforest, where he's just flown to lecture everyone on climate change. Right now, because of Newsom, we are buying in California half the oil that is drilled in the rainforest. Then he talks about cost of living. It is just unbelievable, the shameless and brazen lying of this guy. I'll tell you about cost of living, Gavin Newsom. Because of your insane climate policies, electric bills in California have doubled in the last 10 years and are now more than double the national average, higher than everywhere in America apart from Hawaii. And on gas prices, because of your climate policies, we now have the highest in the country, including Hawaii. Higher gas prices than Hawaii, even though we have abundant oil reserves. Hawaii's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. This guy is an unbelievable, shameless, pathological liar, and he needs to be exposed. He's ruined California. We cannot let him go on to try and ruin America.
Yeah, well, you're not the only one that is sharing their opinion publicly. Politico opinion had this to say about Newsom's turn towards climate initiatives. Quote, the California governor's task at United Nations climate talks in Belém, Brazil this week isn't to negotiate sweeping policy changes. It's to put on a show, proving his state is still cutting emissions despite President Donald Trump's rollbacks, nudging governments and businesses to do the same, and reminding the world that the U.S. might one day pick the climate agenda back up, perhaps under a President Newsom. That from Politico. From watching it from this vantage point, all I see is, hey, give me some money, because this would be the place to do it.
Exactly. And that's what's so unbelievable about this. And look, everywhere now, people are waking up to the disaster that this climate agenda, as they call it, has been. Even Bill Gates. And because it's made no difference at all to global temperatures, none, zero, because you've got China building new coal-fired power stations all the while that this has been going on. The only thing that's happened that's a direct result of this is massive pain for regular working people and families, especially in states like California, because of the extortionate costs that are being imposed on people by these climate policies that are not even meeting their own goals. The sooner we can dismantle this totally insane climate agenda that Gavin Newsom is now lecturing us about, the better.